Okay, so in this question we're told a field ABCD has straight sides AB 80, DC 110 and BD 264. The angle BDC is 90 and they've marked it in for us, and the angle ABD is 44 and again they've marked it into us. So we've got this diagram. So the first thing, if we look at the diagram, we see that it is a right angle triangle. So first things that come into your head that we're probably going to either use trigonometry or Pythagoras theorem. So we asked, calculate the length of BC. BC is one of the lengths in the triangle. We've got the other two lengths, so we can use Pythagoras. So Pythagoras would tell us that the hypotenuse, the one opposite the right angle, so in this case BC, so BC squared is equal to 264 squared plus 110 squared, which is 81796. So BC is going to be the square root of that. So it turns out to be 286. So we now know BC is 286. Okay, the next part of the question asks calculate the angle ABC. Now you need to draw it out. A, B, C is this whole angle. So we know the first part of it is 44, so we're going to need to work out this angle. So again, as I said at the start, right angle triangle here, we're looking for an angle, so this time we're going to use trigonometry. Okay, so the first thing we do in trigonometry is we're going to label everything. So we call this side x, this angle x. If that's the angle x, then this would be the opposite side, this would be the adjacent, and this would be the hypotenuse. Okay, now the way I like to remind my students about which of the ratios to use is a stupid word called SOHCAHTOA. And the idea behind it is it writes down in shorthand form each of the formula for sine, cos and tan. Now, in this example, we know the opposite and we know the adjacent. Now, which of the ratios uses both of those? Our little word gives us it. Okay, so T has an O and an A beside it, so it's tan. So what we know then is the tan of the angle, which we don't know in this case, so we call it x, equals the opposite. Well, the opposite in this case is 110, divided by the adjacent, which is 264. Okay, so we're doing that now, and we find that the way to get an angle when you know its ratio is to use the inverse trigonometric function. So in this case we're going to use the inverse tan. Now on your calculator, inverse tan is written as tan with a -1 beside it. So if we do that function on our calculator, it'll give us the angle of x. Okay, so going to our calculator, it turns out to be 66.619. Now, so to one decimal place, it's going to be 66.6 degrees.